I think that I want to dedicate this podcast to the resilience of the relationship.
That's true.
I'm just going to promise you, if you're in business and you break at home, and I've been through this, you can recover. Like, I've recovered, but I had 3 years of some of the greatest pain I've ever been through in my life. And it really broke my momentum.
In dental ward, doctors are big producers, and we had 4 total doctors when we met. And going through the process, 3 of our doctors were like, okay, this is not the path we want to go through, and we don't want to do that. So losing 3 key high producers, kind of like if you're doing any other business where you're like your salesperson or something, But luckily for us, because we were so in line, losing those producers made 0 change in our business, actually made us grow bigger.
The reason for that is, first of all, you had somebody helping you. So emotionally and structurally, all of a sudden, instead of being on an island where you're trying to separate, oh my gosh, either business or home, and then you go home and talk about how bad it is at business, right? Your partner was right there with you. So you guys were on the front lines. You decided to put a plan of attack with us together on how we're going to fix this situation. Started looking at data, started looking at facts, started looking at the details, started building the plans, and then we attacked it.
Exactly.
And instead of her being on the outside of that bubble, she was intricately involved with that whole process with us. So she was like, I'll take this piece, you take that piece.
Yes.
And all of a sudden now you're pulling the business as partners versus the business wedging you apart as husband and wife.
That's exactly how it was.
And how big was the business when you and I met?
We're at about 2.0.
Yeah, $2 million.
Yeah.
Thin and wide, I talk about it. 2 locations trying to go to 3, only doing $2 million.
And this year, December, we just finished up 3.9.
Double.
Yeah.
And now you got a team.
Losing producers in the meantime. If I did have those, or some really good aligned ones, we would easily double or triple on that number. But still married. That's all matters.
You've been learning how to duplicate, how to bring people on board, get them spooled up, become multi-million-dollar producer, duplicating and replicating, and you really, really struggled in that process, but you finally got traction. And I tell most business owners, it isn't always going to work the first time. You had 2 or 3 opportunities, they went away, new people came in, we were interviewing, we were promoting like crazy, we still are promoting like crazy, and all of a sudden you got a couple new people that came in, but because you got more clear about, this is what I'm looking for, I'm not compromising it, here's how we're going to do it, we were able to recruit somebody that's like, hey, I want that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
And talk about what's happening now.
I mean, we got new grad doc who's been out of school for like 3 months, hitting 100K. I mean, that's almost unheard of.
A month.
Then a month, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have another new doc's been out about 1.5 years, but in this 1.5 years that he's out, he didn't get any exposure of cosmetic cases, but since he's joined us, he's done 8 of those. So
how much revenue is he producing a month?
He's a little bit shy of 100. Here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
In December, he worked half of the month because he just wanted to be off the other half, and he produced 80K.
So I want to make sure everybody understands. When you follow the right process, you put the right sequence in place, you find the right people, you align them with the right opportunities, you show them how to succeed. The true definition of a leader is making other people's success easy. You show them how to lead, and most importantly, you and your wife are in there being an example. You're aligned, and people admire that, they respect it. And then all of a sudden now you're starting to create an army of multi-producers doing $1 million to $2 million on their own, and that will become your culture. We're being disciplined.
Yes.
And once we hit 5.5 in the 2 locations and we have a team and we've got systems that are replicatable, that's where we move forward and start opening new locations or acquiring businesses.
Definitely.
It's based on a very specific strategy. But when we built the strategy, how big can we be in your market?
In 10 years, we're going for 60 mil.
$60 million.
Yeah.
That's right.
The ideal, we're going to build the #1 dental brand. At the end of the day, one of the major things that we strongly believe in is giving to community. We've been able to, this past 2.5 years, we gave about $300,000 worth of just free dental treatment to the community. And imagine we move that into 20, 30, 40, 50 offices, be able to give $3, $4, $5, $10 million of free dental work, free dental work.
5,000 offices.
That is going to be crazy.
When you're on a small island where you feel like nobody's helping you and it's putting enough pressure that it's pushing your family away instead of pulling them in, I just want to give you the encouragement that there is a different way. And that different way has been proven to work if you take action at the right time. It's very difficult, to bring things back once they've entirely disconnected.
Exactly.
I would encourage everyone watching, even though we had a double in revenues, right? There's so many amazing things happening in Dr. T's business that we could dedicate this whole podcast to talking about the technical aspect of him developing as a leader, him becoming a great operator, how to find, recruit, attract, develop, and retain great doctors. Like, that's all great stuff. I think that I want to dedicate this podcast to the resilience of the relationship.
That's true.
I'm just going to promise you, if you're in business and you break at home, and I've been through this, you can recover. Like, I've recovered, but I had 3 years of some of the greatest pain I've ever been through in my life. And it really broke my momentum in all aspects.
There's no reason.
I think that's the most important thing. Is there is no reason to go through it alone.
So if you're not there to talk about it and seek help, there's something wrong. Either you grew up with that mindset, which I was, or you're so protective of your pride that you don't want to talk about it. You need to break those to break through the next steps. These are the humbling effect of learning to push yourself to the next levels of leadership, and you got to find right mentors to help see your flaws that you can push through and grow through that. And if you don't seek growth or seek advice from the right people, you're not going to be able to push through it.
And the truth is, if you're committed to building a huge business, the value in pushing through it is that you can have that wisdom, guidance, and advice and be that mentorship for all the thousands of people that you might employ to help you become massive, right?
Exactly.
And if you don't know what it feels like, it's very hard to help people through it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to another episode of the B. Dawson Show. This episode is dedicated to all those amazing partners that we all need to be great.